Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. With me tonight, we're going to be talking with the Gresham Area Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center. With me is the CEO of the GACC and VC, which is Allison Hart. Thanks for being here, Allison.
Thanks for having me again.
And also Debbie Lutton, who is the branch manager of the Oregonians Credit Union. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you.
And Debbie, you're also involved with the Chamber.
Chamber and the Historic Downtown Gresham Business Association.
So you're involved all over the place.
Yes.
And there's a lot of interconnections between these organizations. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier about how Allison has been on several times. You've been on several times.
Yes.
And people who are regular watchers of Community Hotline know about the Chamber of Commerce and the things that you do. But for those who may be tuning in for the first time, why don't you, Allison, give us a little idea of what the Chamber is all about here in Gresham?
Well, the Chamber of Commerce, we're a business association, but we do a lot of different things, and we are a regional chamber, so we serve Gresham and Fairview, as well as Troutdale, Wood Village, a little bit of East Portland. We have members in Boring as well as Damascus, so It's kind of a broad area.
It is.
And we work to do several things. We have a set of what we call core competencies, and so those are what guide us through our strategic goals. But in the bigger picture, what they mean is we work to create a strong local economy, so that's where our Try Local First program comes in, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. We also represent business interests to government, to be the voice of business when there's concerns or issues, and have the ear of the government. We promote the community, and we're going to talk about that tonight too. And we provide a lot of networking opportunities and business connection and relationship building opportunities, because people do business with people they know and like, and so part of our mission is to help that happen.
That's great. Those are great goals, and you do it very well. And it's actually quite fun. I've been to quite a few of the chamber events, and there's some wonderful people, and there's so much support between the different chamber members. Say, for example, I need to have my car fixed. I look in the chamber guide and I find another chamber member. Or I may have met them at a recent, little after, what do you call them?
After hours,
after
or
hours
our AM.
Or an AM meeting. So there's a lot of support there. So it's really to the benefit of local businesses to be involved in their chamber, in their local chamber. Now, you said with the chamber, you're very involved with the Try Local First, and Try Local First has been doing all sorts of stuff. Debbie, you go to all those meetings, and you're involved in that group. Tell me a little bit about Try Local First.
Well, Try Local First is just a group of people that we work together, trying to get the word out through. We're trying to set up with the Facebook interaction with the chamber. We're doing a new program that's going to promote the businesses around the area that are involved with it, but we're trying to get people to shop here in our area, be it downtown Gresham or in the surrounding areas, just so the money stays here and we spend it here.
Right.
And could I piggyback just on that a little bit? The Try Local First is actually one of the committees of the chamber, but it's a little bit different because it's a collaboration of the chamber and several other organizations, including the Downtown Business Association, actually the West Columbia Gorge Chamber, East Metro Economic Alliance. I think there's one more, Rockwood Business Coalition. And so the idea was to have all of these organizations work together to bring forth the message about shopping local, because of all the great benefits of shopping local.
Sure, I think that's great. So what are some of the benefits of shopping local?
Well,
I know we've talked about some of them before, but I don't think it hurts to put it in people's minds why it's important to do that.
Well, mainly it keeps businesses open. If we know of the areas that we're working in or living in, keeping that money there keeps those businesses open and available to everybody that's in our area. So that is one of the great things.
Another piece of it is the more money that's spent locally, it tends to circulate locally. So if you spend money in one local business, they often will buy their supplies or do things with another local business. So more money circulates in our own economy.
Sure.
Also, more money, the money that stays locally produces more local jobs.
Right.
And that's another thing, because if more people are working here, they're also going to spend more money locally as well. So it's a domino effect. It also provides more money for taxes for police and fire services and social services for our community. I mean, those are just three things.
Right.
There are a whole lot more, but those are three basic
some
ones.
of the big ones. And like the tagline says, by shopping locally, the job you save may be your neighbors.
Exactly.
Which is great. And didn't I read that if people that own businesses here locally tend to live here locally for the most part, and so they're also more invested in the community, I would imagine.
And they tend to put more money back in their own businesses and also into community events, nonprofits, and that type of thing.
Right, so it's kind of a win-win situation all the way around to shop locally. And it's not true that shopping locally is necessarily going to be more expensive, and I've definitely found that shopping around here, so good deal. So now with the Try Local First, there is a charm program that you have. Debbie, you want to tell us about that a little bit?
Well, it's we're just starting it. It should be starting actually next week. A lot of the local businesses, there's about around 50 businesses that have decided to go with this program. Each business has picked out a charm. We're going to be selling charm bracelets at several different locations.
And I know we can't say the price on the air, but it is very inexpensive.
Yes, very
affordable.
And each of the stores that have joined in have picked out a specific charm for their business or something that represents their business. And we're going to have these brochures that list where they are, kind of like a treasure hunt. Go into the store, see, and it gets people into the stores that may not even know they're there.
Right.
And the charms are very inexpensive.
That's fun. That's fun.
Kind of hoping to kick it off for, Mother's Day or something around that area.
Yeah,
but they can go and find out the stores and hopefully go back and shop in those stores.
Good, good.
So the idea in the bigger picture, it gives a lot of exposure to local vendors, but it also helps, there's a fun element to it of collecting the charm. And Sandy did this program through the Sandy Chamber of Commerce, and there's been several people who lived in Sandy for a long time who said, I went in places that I lived in for 20 years and I didn't even know they were there. And so it is really to also raise exposure and awareness of the local shops, and because I'm sure some people go in because they want the specific charm, because it actually says in the brochure what the charm is. But the hope is that they'll actually stay and do some shopping or come back because they realize, oh wait, this is a great shop for me or my family for something I need that I can get locally.
If nothing else, maybe they can refer their friends and neighbors to it.
Or
so you're looking for this,
or even see what's
on
the same street with those other shops that they might not be aware of.
It's a good way to do it. I hope it's very successful.
Yeah, and we're selling the charm bracelets at the chamber too, so people can stop into the chamber and get their bracelet to start, and then you go to the locations to get your charms.
And if people want more information, they can go to the Try Local First website, right?
And the chamber website.
And or the chamber website, either one. Good partnership there, or collaboration, or whatever you want to call it. So you also have an Expo Fair coming up.
Yes.
Also, why don't you tell us about the Expo Fair?
The Chamber Expo is something we do twice a year, and it's really to showcase our newer members, and it goes right along with this idea of shopping local. So we create a tabletop trade show. It's not really a trade show, but it's a tabletop expo where we give our new members the opportunity to put what they're all about out there, and we invite both the community and chamber members and what have you. And the one that we have coming up is on May 10th, and it's at St. Henry's Catholic Church in the gymnasium.
Right.
And we'll probably have about 50 tabletops, and actually MetroEast Community Media will be there as one of our partners.
Right.
They're a sponsor.
Fun. I've been to a couple of those, and probably three or so, I think. I mean, it's fun. You get to meet a lot of great people, see businesses that you had no idea existed, and you pretty much are promoting the newer members of the chamber. Is that right?
It's the chamber members who have joined within the last 6 months who are invited to participate. And then we do have some sponsorship spaces as well, but largely it's new members. And I do want to acknowledge Debbie and her company, Oregonians Credit Union. They are our major sponsor for this event. And I wanted to say something more about that, just in the standpoint of their community involvement, because Oregonians Credit Union is really amazing in terms of how they support the chamber programs for new members to help educate them. And so they have our new member sponsorship, where they also work with us on our Chamber 101, which is a program where we educate members about how to really maximize the benefits and of the chamber membership. And so they really understand the engagement and the community piece of it, and it's been a really great partnership.
What do you have to say about that,
Debbie? Well, we've had our first Chamber 101 at the credit union. We had it 2 months ago?
I think so.
Something like that. And quite a few people showed up.
Yeah.
It was an education for me as well, because learning how to network, knowing about what the different organizations or committees that you can get in on with the chamber, and explaining maybe a little bit more than I've even heard, because I've gone to a few things but not everything.
Sure.
And so it was quite educational. It was fun.
how often will you have those?
We do Chamber 101 quarterly, and it also is targeted towards new members. And part of it is we go over, like Debbie was saying, all of the different areas where you can interact, but different programs work for different members. For example, we have our AM networking, which we typically get 80 to 100 every Friday.
That blows me away you get that many people there.
It's great for people who do business to consumer. So we get a lot of businesses who do that. But for businesses who are larger, who are looking for something different, we have something such as our Government Affairs Council, where we hold our luncheons the third Tuesday of every month, and there's usually some type of topic having to do with economic policy or legislative review or something like that. So we have different programs geared towards different member needs or different member sizes, and that's where the Chamber 101 is so helpful, is it helps those people who are coming into the Chamber to understand what might work best to match their marketing needs.
What about a business who maybe has been a Chamber member for a long time, but there's been some turnover in the staff and employees? If somebody, maybe the management, there's been a little turnover, those people can still come even if they've been around for a long time.
Exactly.
You learn something they've never known before.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. We like to have a deeper touch with our members than just one person with the company who's a representative, because the more who know about it, they may benefit in different ways depending on what their job is.
I'd like to go to one of those Chamber 101s.
You're welcome to come.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So I go to the Chamber website probably and find out.
Right.
Okay, sounds good. So can you tell me the names of maybe a couple of new members that you have coming?
Yeah, a couple of new members will be coming to this particular when we have Burgerville. They're good community supporters.
They've been really, really involved in the community, haven't they? Besides having local foods and all that.
Right, and also the Trauma Intervention Programs, TIP. They're a great program. I think you know about them.
Yes, they were actually one of my very first guests I had on Community Hotline when I started hosting this, and I was very impressed with them. They do amazing work, and I'd never heard of them before. So.
Yeah, a couple others. We have Service Master. We have Scott S. Hansen, who's a dentist locally, who's been here 20 years. Oh, wow. A whole variety of people. We have also Bill Bremen, photography. He does some photos for us sometimes, but also is out there taking photos of Gresham. He's put together a book on Oregon as well, and has a lot of pictures on Oregon. So you can see by those different people, we have very diverse members as well, and so there is probably something for everyone if you're looking to shop local. In our membership directory is a great way to do it.
And I think one of the main things that people need to know about this expo is that it's not just for Chamber members.
Exactly.
Right? So anybody can go. And it's free.
It's free.
It's free. There's lots of, information, little giveaways, but we really would like to have the public come in to see what's happening around the area.
I remember last time I went, I got a free haircut. Yeah, I like that. That was great. I was like, okay, I'm good with that.
You won on the spinny wheel,
right? I won on the spinny wheel. I won on the spinny wheel. I got a free haircut. There's some little food vendors that had some food there. There was, it was great. It was really fun. So what else do you have going on that we should know about?
What else do we have going on that?
You've got the fair, the Expo Fair. You got the Chamber 101. You got the Try Local First.
Well, this isn't, it's not till August, but we are working on our golf tournament because, of course, every chamber has a golf tournament, so that'll be in the summertime.
Okay.
We're also...
Does it have a long, funky name?
No, it's just the golf tournament, the chamber golf tournament.
We just had the East County's Got Talent.
Oh, yeah, I heard that went well, and there was a tie, wasn't there, for the first place?
There was a tie for first place.
I wasn't able to go this year, but it went well?
It did, and that's one of our ways that we promote the community and get involvement from different, or we work with the schools to get contestants. We had 10 contestants boiled down from 31 who auditioned, so that was fun. Coming up in the fall, and I know this is quite a ways, but we're working on our economic summit, which focuses on economic concerns in the area, not even concerns, but just topics in the area. And so I'm pretty excited about that because we're starting to really map out our agenda. So that might be another thing that maybe I can talk about later on down the line.
Okay, then we'll have you on again because you are a good guest, both of you. All right, well, I think that pretty well wraps it up. There's a lot going on at the Chamber. People need, if they want more information, they go to the website. They can stop by the office. They can check out this new charm. Yeah, because by the time this show airs, they're going to have these charms in the stores.
In the stores.
And good to go.
Yes.
Right.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you very much, Debbie, and thank you, Allison, for being on. If you're interested in getting more information, like I said, do check out their website. There's a lot of good stuff going on in Gresham, and the Chamber is a great place to start to find out about it. And we will be right back in just a few minutes with the Salvation Army camp that you're going to want to hear about that's going to be going on this summer. So this is Monica Weitzel. This is Community Hotline, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Swart with the West Columbia Gorge Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Michael Gonzalez with the Historic Downtown Gresham Business Association.
Lots of community members have embraced the idea of Try Local First, but often we are asked, what can I do?
Well, here are 4 things that you can do to support the Try Local First movement right here in your community.
Number 1, put a Try Local First sign in the window of your business. You can pick one up at the Gresham Area Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center.
Number 2, identify goods or services that you typically do not purchase locally and see if there is a local solution.
Number 3, experience the flavor and uniqueness of your local farmers market.
And number 4, utilize the local Chamber of Commerce offices or websites when looking for a product or service needed.
These simple things can make a difference for our entire community. If you would like to learn more, go to trylocalfirst.org.
So try local first. Remember, the job you save may be your neighbor's.
And thank you for shopping locally.
Are the cornerstone of local communities, and they enjoy the satisfaction that comes from being part of something larger than themselves. Multnomah County invites citizens to participate in projects that benefit the greater good of our residents.
No matter where your interests lay, there is a volunteer opportunity for you. From helping families through hard times, to working on a citizen advisory board, to making your neighborhood the place you want to live. The opportunities are endless.
Through offering your time and talents, you can help provide programs and services that benefit all of us. You have the potential to make Multnomah County a better place to work, play, and live.
Volunteering builds skills, provides insight into professions, and engages people in important actions. It shapes both you and your community. Plus, volunteering is fun.
To get involved, contact the Office of Citizen Involvement. Go to citizenweb.org. Shape your community. Volunteer.
Hi, I'm Luke Perry. You're watching MetroEast. Over 25 years of great community media.
Alone, our reach is limited. No matter how great our intentions, on our own, we can only stretch so far. But at Rotary, we believe the right group of people working together can make our communities, our world, a better place. Rotary, humanity in motion.
¿Están listos?
Free GED classes.
Are you ready? Clases gratis de inglés.
Yo estoy lista.
Transportation for free.
I'm ready.
Clases gratis de computación. ¿Qué listos?
We're ready.
Come to Listos. If we can do it, you can do it.
What am I supposed to do with all these corks?
Turn them into a cork board.
What about all these floppy disks?
How about a fantastic journal?
I wouldn't learn how to make cool things like that.
Well, come on down to Scrap. Scrap has monthly workshops where you too can learn how to make great things. We provide everything you need. For more information, call 503-294-0769 or go to www.scrapaction.org. Scrap. Create more, consume less.
Many people are aware of the problems of hunger and poverty, but few realize how severe these issues are in East County. Every winter we find hungry and homeless people on our streets. Here at Snowcap, we combat these problems by bringing together the people who have with those who have not. Snowcap is a nonprofit organization dedicated to serving the needs of low-income persons living in the East Metro area. With the help of community members and the support of local businesses, SnowCap feeds over 4,000 people per month and distributes clothing to more than 1,000 people per month. You can help SnowCap by donating your time, donating food or clothing, or making a financial contribution. To find out more, contact SnowCap at 503-674-8785 or on the web at www.snowcap.org.
Volunteers are the cornerstone of local communities, and they enjoy the satisfaction that comes from being part of something larger than themselves. Multnomah County invites citizens to participate in projects that benefit the greater good of our residents.
Help provide services to thousands of your neighbors. Sound impossible? 1,700 members of your community are already doing this, and so much more, by volunteering with Multnomah County Library.
Library volunteers help their neighbors by teaching computer skills, shelving materials, and promoting literacy in the community. The library provides a wide array of services, including lending popular books and DVDs, computer access, and life-enriching activities. Give a neighbor a helping hand and spend a couple hours a week at the library, making your community a better place.
To find out more about this volunteer opportunity, visit their website. To explore other volunteer opportunities, contact the Office of Citizen Involvement. Shape your community.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. And with me now I have Glen Austin. He is the Assistant Director at Camp Karatley at Trestle, Glen, which is the Salvation Army camp.
That's right.
Thanks for being here, Glen.
Thank you so much.
So the Salvation Army, before we talk about the camp itself, I've had people from the Salvation Army on several times, several majors, a couple Major Jameses, Major James Sullivan and Major James, the one that's here now. I can't think of his name. He's a great guy. It'll come to me.
Major Sullivan is right now in Gresham.
Yes, he is. And the major that was in here before and moved to Arizona. And it's so funny because I dealt with them all the time, and I can't remember his name, but great guys, and they do tremendous work. So tell me a little bit about the Salvation Army, just for somebody out there who may not know what it's all about.
Sure, and I think probably most people, when they think of the Salvation Army, think of the thrift store, because you see that all the time driving by, or think about some of the social services we do, disaster relief, or helping in times of crisis, and or bell ringers.
The bell ringers
it's at Christmas time. And those are kind of just really small part of it is a large movement. We're in 120 countries. The Salvation Army began in 1865 in the East End of London. A guy named William Booth, a Methodist preacher, just got tired of the social conditions he was seeing. A lot of alcoholic men not treating their wives well, and they weren't coming to church, so he took the church to them. And so some of the things you'll see in the Salvation Army, like a brass band, was because you can't very well take an organ out on the street, so you get a band, you march out, and then you have church services out there. So we started in the East End of London, and there was a gospel message about the love of God, but it was also, from the very first days, you can't really tell anybody about God unless they've got something in their stomach too. So they say, a heart to God and a hand to man was one of the original slogans. So started in 1865, and just over the years has grown and grown to, like I say, 120 countries. And not sure exactly when we started in the Northwest, but I can tell you that the camp I work at has been here since 1928. So camping is an essential part of the Salvation Army's ministry, one of many things. We've worked with veterans, work with the homeless, work with people on substance abuse, pretty much any area where there's a social need, the Salvation Army is involved in some way.
Wow. How long have you been involved with the Salvation Army?
Well, my entire life, really. I
mean, were you one of those kids that benefited from the camp or something like that? Or?
Well, I was born into it. My parents were Salvation Army officers, and so in Salvation Army term, that's an officer is what other people would call a pastor.
Okay.
And so I was born into it. In fact, this camp that I work at, I was there when I was 3 and 4 years old. I was a toddler, and my parents brought me there. And then summer of 1986, I came back to work for a summer in Portland, and then been away for a number of years, but I'm back now as of November. So it's actually my third time here with Camp Coratly.
Wow, you just keep coming back. Huh?
Yeah.
It must be a good place.
It is an excellent place.
Now the camp itself, it's Camp Coratly at Trestle, Glen.
Yep.
And tell our viewers exactly where that is. It's in Boring, right?
It's in Boring, but so close to Barton that you might as well call it Barton.
Okay.
So we're on Highway 224. If you know where the Barton community, or Barton store is, we're just literally across the street. So you head down 242nd, take a right on 212, and down 232nd, and then we're just.
But you can't really see it from the.
No, we're pretty far off the road. So there's a nice sign, red sign there. You see, and then you drive in a long driveway, and then down into the camp. And so we like to say we're close enough, to Portland, but you feel like you've gotten away once you're there.
Okay, you said that the camp started in 1928.
1928.
Can you give me a little more history about the camp itself?
Sure. So, as I say, essential part of the Salvation Army's ministry to people is camp. So they want kids to have an experience outside of the cities, and today I think it's even more important, get kids away from the couch and the video games, experience nature. So in 1928, the Salvation Army purchased what was then called Camp Trestle Glen, and Trestle Glen because the Cazadero line, which went from Selwood through Gresham and then down through Boring and then headed out east through to Estacada. That actually flowed through the camp. We have two creeks that merge in the camp. Deep Creek North and South Forks come through and then join inside the camp and then head out to the Clackamas River. And so you needed trestles to get across.
Right.
And so it was Camp Trestle Glen. Even though that Cazadero line stopped operating, I think, in the 30s. And you have to really dig in the underbrush now to find any remnants of the trestle. Yeah.
So the camp has been going on since then. And then how did the name get changed to Coratly? And who the heck was Coratly?
Yeah, great question. In 1980, a horrendous ice storm hit the camp. Well, hit all of Portland, but the way the camp was designed back then, the cabins were inside of, right inside the trees, and so when the trees came down, cabins got destroyed. The dining room was crushed, and you really could not have camp.
Right.
And for a few years, they did kind of camp on the road. They rented places, still have camp, but because Camp Trestle Glen was ruined. And a wonderful gentleman named Reuben H. Coratly, who was a dentist, left a very sizable gift. And that gift allowed the camp to come back to life. And so rebuilt cabins, put all the infrastructure in and built all the buildings. And so in honor of both the history of the camp and to honor this gift, it was called Camp Coratly at Trestle Glen now. So we get both things. Yeah.
I think you brought a few pictures from that are a little older of Camp Coratly, and so maybe we could take a look at those. And if you would, Glenn, as we look at them, maybe you can let us know what exactly it is we're looking at.
Yeah, I picked these randomly, so I hope I can identify them.
Okay, well, we'll see. They'll be coming up here in a second. Yeah.
So that would be one of our buildings that doesn't exist anymore. And so Camp Trestle Glen and a canteen, that's still part of camp life, getting their little snacks in the afternoon. But I think that was a gymnasium. That just doesn't exist anymore. That's the creek that runs through camp. We probably wouldn't play games like this anymore with tug of war through the creek. Sounds like a liability issue, but the creek is a lot of fun. We take creek walks now.
Nice.
It's fun. And so this is a band, and so as I mentioned, the Salvation Army band, and so one of the weeks, or actually 10 days of camp, is a thing called music camp, and there'll be brass bands like this, but there'll be choirs, there'll be guitars, there'll be all kinds of instruments, because music is a part of church life, and so and we love to see kids experience music and the outdoors. So you get both here.
That's great. You get them both. Okay. Let's see.
And this would be our old dining room that no longer exists anymore. We have a much more modern thing going right now, but camp food.
It wasn't bad then, though, really. That was pretty nice.
And it's really the same format. Kids sitting around a table with an adult, and so doing things you don't see a lot in modern life anymore.
Sure. I think we have...
And then, of course, you need a pool. And this is our old pool. We now have two pools in a different location. Wow. They also provide some fire support if that ever was a need. But and what I love about that picture is all the different ethnicities that are
I
in
noticed
there.
that, yes, very well represented there. Is that pretty typical of a camp experience?
It's what
there?
we want. I don't, that's what you hope for.
That's what
is
you hope for.
that it resembles the world.
Right. So tell me about the kids that go to Camp Caratlee. Where do these kids come from, and who can go?
Sure, anyone can go. Okay?
Anyone. Okay.
And the way we register kids for camp is through the individual Salvation Army churches. So we have, there's Salvation Army churches all over the world, but in southern Idaho and Oregon, there are different Salvation Armies. And if people went to our website, I actually listed the ones in the Portland metro area. There's one in Gresham, one on Moore Street, one in Sandy Boulevard, and then one in Tualatin Valley, Hillsboro. And you could go to those individual corps and say, I'd like to send my child to camp. And they would have information there. And if there was some confusion, they could also contact us at the camp. Okay, so it's this camp mostly serves people in the greater metro area? All over Oregon and southern Idaho. Yeah. Okay, so even if they were in southern Oregon, they could exactly. We have a Salvation Army Corps in Medford that brings kids up and all through the summer. Now there are several different camps, you said. Tell me what the different camps are, and it's just there's one going on, and then that one ends, and the next one starts. Exactly. Okay, so tell me about the different camps. Well, we have really two programs that go on side by side. One is camps for kids, and we have. I'll just list them, and then because I won't add very well in my head. We have a sports camp, so kids who want to get better at football, basketball, soccer, whatever. That's our first camp is sports camp. Then we have music camp. Music camp's a little different because it's a broader age group, so not just kids but teens as well could come to music camp. Then we have a couple camps called All About Kids, which is just your typical summer camp. So you have crafts and outdoor activities archery and swimming, music and everything, probably. All those things. And then we finish, the last camp is typically for kids in the Salvation Army. It's called Salvation Army Youth Camp, SAY Camp. Okay. And it would be learning all about the Salvation Army. So when you say it's for kids in the Salvation Army, what exactly are you saying? Kids in the Salvation Army churches. Okay, okay. But anybody can come to any of those camps. It just, we have programs called, there's Boy Scouts and those kind of programs, and Girl Guards and all those things. In the Salvation Army, we have similar programs. Okay. And so you come to camp, and there's certain badges you can get at camp that work there. But anyone's welcome in those camps. So that's the kid track that goes on all summer, and then we have a teen track as well, and it's called Life Walk, and that is a smaller group of kids, and it's a more intimate group, and instead of sleeping in cabins, they sleep under the stars in tents. Nice. And for the 5 days, they are out making their own food, putting up their own tent at night, and we have a challenge course. It's got high, zip line and a climbing tower, high and low ropes elements. So they go through these challenges all during the week, and then kind of finish up on the summit of our hill. So, so it's a kind of through the week working through issues that come up as a teen, and then. I bet they get there's a lot of bonding going on in a camp like that. I would think. Yeah, exactly. Do they learn some kind of survival things and that kind of? Well, there, or is it? I would say some. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. That's not the main focus. I wouldn't want you to. Yeah, I wouldn't want to send them out to the desert and say, "Okay, you're ready now." No, but you learn some really practical things. Basic things you need to know. So you went to the camp then as a kid. What was your favorite part of being part of that? Oh, the whole thing. I mean, it's hard to take one thing out. And in fact, I loved it so much that I worked at Salvation Army Camp for 11 summers. So there's songs that you never leave you. Some are really stupid. So true. I'm always singing some stupid song that I remember from camp when I was a kid. And my daughter will look at me and say, "Where'd that come from?" I said, "Well, that was a camp they're great, and it's fun. The screaming and the hilarity there. Yeah. Then skits are fun. There's no. Here's the thing: you either love camp or you don't love camp. Camp is kind of this world that really we don't have any thing like it in the rest of our society. It's you're out in the outdoors, so I love that. You are with a fun group of people and enjoying each other's company. There's the music aside from the songs you sing, but there's the music training that can go on, and the growth, the challenges to yourself when you do hikes and you swim and you do, I mean, it's just, I think the best part is the fact that you're, at the end of the day, you're exhausted.
And you sleep really
for all
well.
the right reasons.
For all the right reasons. You know, I know you've got some pictures, and I want to show those just in a minute of the camp as it is now, but you mentioned that, you know, the camping is something that, you know, not everybody has done, and not everybody can do, but it's something everybody should do. But at the Salvation Army camp, it is an opportunity for just about everybody to go if they want to. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because of a number of really generous people over the years, including Dr. Karatley, there are people who have endowed the camp. There are people who every year through a program called Adopt a Camper, the individual Salvation Army churches, and then through other program fees, we rent the camp out the rest of the year. All those things come together to help us provide a pretty subsidized camp program. So what we like to see is kids who could not afford to go to camp get to come to camp.
Okay, so even if you're in a low-income family, or mom and dad don't have a job right now, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just check it out. You may be able to help them out.
Those are the kids we want to come to camp.
Okay.
There are plenty of camps where, you know, it costs hundreds of dollars, and we don't have some of the we don't have the perks of, say, you know, we don't have the jet skis or the you know, the really fancy things, but we've got all the essential fun elements.
Good
and so
experience.
you'll be swimming, you'll be hiking, you'll be running around and playing games and you know, capture the flag and singing the camp songs.
Well, I think this would be a good time to take a look at those pictures because I have looked at them ahead of time, and this is a nice camp. So it doesn't,
really is.
You know, even if you don't have the jet skis, it's a pretty nice camp.
So this is one of the things that we that came out of the camp remodel in 1984. We reopened. So this is Merlot Field. Harry Merlot was generous enough to provide this giant sports field to us.
Wow.
So off to the right, you don't see them, but there's 2 swimming pools there. There's a baseball diamond that will be straight ahead, and then off in the trees now is a children's playground. And that's a huge field.
Wow.
This is just what we call the cabin circle. This would be one level down from what we just saw, Merlot Field. Around the cabin circle are 8 cabins, and then the octagonal building there in the middle is kind of our main meeting area. It does sometimes rain here in Portland, so we do have both indoors and outdoors. This is a typical cabin.
It's so nice.
I know. This is cabin number 8, and it has an upstairs and a downstairs. So inside each cabin is a separate counselor's area, and then a dormitory-style place. And there's a shared bathroom and shower there. And then we also have overflow showers, just because, you know, if there's 10 kids waiting for the bathroom, sometimes you need more than that. It's our lovely, lovely dining room. It's got 2 levels.
Beautiful.
Upstairs can seat over 200, and then if we do have, like just a couple weekends ago, we had a group that wanted a separate function downstairs and upstairs. So we had 2 different meals going on the 2 different levels, so there's a downstairs dining room as well. And this is also one of the new things that we have. And this is what we call an activity center. Obviously, it's a gym, carpeted gym. And the carpet helps us so that sometimes we'll have meetings that are too big for our Preston Hall. And so this will seat over 400 people. Our music camp, for example, we'll bring in a stage and speakers, and then we'll allow all of the kids who are performing in here because we'll just have too many people for that other building. But during the winter time, if, you know, people want to come to a camp, but you can't always depend on well, you can never depend on the weather here. So
that's a great place
so you can come inside and
get your exercise.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, you know, the formula for a camp is you've got great facilities, which we do, and then you need great staff. And so these are just some photos from last summer. I guess
they look like a happy group.
It was. We have a caboose.
Now that is cute. I like that.
That's the camp staff from last summer, and we'll probably take a similar picture this summer.
And you use the caboose for what?
The caboose is in the midst of a transition. It's been sandblasted and repainted, and now we need to do the interior. So that's a kind of a funding thing right now. But it's coming. It's going to become kind of a library. And,
great.
It's got all electric and water. There's a couple of our counselors from last summer.
They look like they're having
fun.
Yeah, they do.
And that's one of the games. I think that would be or one of the songs. I think that's Wadaliacha that they're singing right there, which
with the
hand
motions and everything. Yes, yes. Now, one thing you mentioned, Glenn, you said something about meetings, and you had 2 groups there. The camp itself can be rented out by outside groups.
Yep. We're a camp and a conference center.
Okay.
So during the summer months, we're pretty packed full. We can squeeze some things in, but during the rest of the year, weekends are perfect time for retreats. So we had actually 2 groups last weekend, one from Mount Olivet, a group of guys came in, and then also a group from Christ the Vine Lutheran Church were there.
It doesn't have to be religious groups. It can be at corporations or
we had
reunions.
Portland Police was in a few weeks ago doing some training. Family reunions are great. We have one scheduled. We have 2 scheduled here in the next couple of months. And
so if somebody wanted to use this for a family reunion, say, they have access to the rest of the facilities or just the conference room? But if they wanted to use the pool, that kind of thing, would that
May through September on the pools.
Okay, May through September, okay.
But we have, what I say is I invite anyone who wants to check the place out to come down. We love to give tours and show the place because I think of the camp as kind of a blank canvas, and the event is the painting that goes on the canvas. So the things you've described all work really well. Retreats, conferences, meetings, banquets. Great. We can do any of those things.
Wonderful. Yeah, you've got a great facility there.
We love it.
And do you, what about feeding people there? Do you just provide, we would arrange our own caterer and then they would be able to
We can do that, but we have a full food service.
You have that too?
We have a food service director named Cynthia. She's great.
Wonderful.
And
that's a great deal. I have to remember that. I know I've been...
We stole her from another camp. She's really good, yeah.
What else do we need to know about? We only have a few minutes left, Glenn. What else do we need to know about Camp Caratly and the upcoming programs this summer?
Well, I think if anyone would know somebody who should be at camp, they should definitely go to our website. So campcaratly.org is the website. And
that's Kuratli.
Thank you, yeah. Sometimes it comes out Coralty, but it's Caratly, yeah. And campcaratly.org, go to the website. There's a place, one of the tabs there says summer camps, and it'll describe all the different camps, the dates that they're available, the different Salvation Army churches where you can find out how to enroll, and then also has our camp information. So if somehow it's confusing or something, they should just feel free to contact us at the camp. And
then they have a sports camp. What ages does that cover?
I'm going to say this wrong. 8 to 12.
8 to 12.
Yep.
And that's kids just want to get better at certain sports.
Yep.
I mean, do they do all sports? Do they pick one they want to work on, or is it just
you come in? Yeah, we get a staff together that can do all the different main sports. Probably not so much with the lacrosse or some of the the kind of the unique things, but the
no water polo probably.
Yeah, the ponies keep drowning. It's sad. No, sorry, really terrible joke. So I would say basketball, football, soccer, the main things, and then we usually what we do is have some minor sport things. So like some of the camp personnel have abilities in certain areas, so they'll try and get kids interested in certain things. Yeah,
nice, good. And then the music, do you have to have musical background or have your own instrument to come to that?
Come on in. Okay. Yeah, we take all levels, all abilities. And at the very least, you can make, like they say, a joyful noise, so you can sing away.
That's wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Glenn. I think this is a great opportunity for kids in our area and all of Oregon. So I hope that there are some families out there who have listened tonight and will take advantage of that.
Yeah, love to see them this summer.
Great. Thanks so much for watching Community Hotline tonight. If you need more information, please go to the website. The information should be on your screen. And thanks for joining us here tonight for Community Hotline. We will be back next week, so don't forget to watch at the same time. I'm Monica Weitzel. Thanks for joining us.